Hey, sister friends. We are so happy that you decided to join us today. My name is Julie.
And my name is Jamie. And this week we are talking about friendships.
Yes, friendships.
We are excited. We had actually someone reach out to us a few weeks ago and told us, hey, I would love for you guys to do an episode about adult friendships and how it's hard to make friends as an adult.
Hmm.
Um, as a mom, as a uh, someone that just works in general, it's a tricky.
People don't talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't. And they should. So that's why we're not this week.
Yes.
Uh, and it's different than friendships from when you're in middle school and high school. And I know Julie
Yes. Yeah.
about this earlier.
It's definitely different. I think when we talk about friendships, we automatically think of our younger years. You just do because that's where you start your foundation of how to be a friend. You're taught that when you go to preschool, kindergarten, your friends. And so I think that's quite interesting how um, every season of friendships change as you get older. Um,
Yeah,
and I don't think it's talked about because it's almost like it's a secret grieving process when you're shedding that elementary school phase, the middle school, high school, college, and then so on and so forth. And I think it's kind of sad.
it's kind of sad. You grieve, the intimacy that you had with that group of friends or that friendship,
Yeah.
and nothing's ever really like that when you get older. And
Yeah.
and you do have people that are accountable and people that are
Mhm.
going to be your friends, but it's just not in that intimate moment of your life that you were struggling and trying to find your identity and grow up.
Right. The
um
emotional aspect
yes.
of you're going through when you're in middle school, high school, and college, the roughest and the best time of your life
Yeah.
because you are trying to find yourself as a human being and what speaks to you and also just all the pressures that it comes with.
So with that, making new friends and how do you do that as an adult?
Mm,
I know it looks different for everybody and really what
yeah.
season of life you're in right now.
Mhm.
I know for me, we are from a small town, so everyone knows everybody. Everyone's mostly
Small town meaning 1,200 people
yeah.
or less.
Actually, I think where we live is less than that. I think it's
Yeah.
less than 1,100. But so is what's the word friend really mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I could call someone that I'm not technically friends with
Hmm.
to help me, like you know.
Right.
But that's just being in a small town. But for me, my friendships will be, with church, people within my church. Uh, I help with a mom group on Tuesdays. So I feel like I could go for them with advice.
Hmm.
Um, and really, a lot of my friends are my family, my close cousins, my sister.
Hmm.
It's people that you have some come and go friends, but you have your family that have turned really into your friends. But like I said, I know that looks different for everybody.
Right.
But really, if you are married, your spouse is your best friend. When you're married, you spend a lot of time with your spouse and your family and your kids, and it's hard to have family time with your spouse and then break it up with friendships.
Hmm.
And it's kind of a safe thing too. Um, Again, it's all depending on people. There are some people that want to hang out with their girlfriends, some of them want to hang out with their guy friends, and they have that time, which I think is amazing. But also, um, protecting you and your spouse's time is really
Yeah.
important, because it protects it. It just helps you not go down a path maybe your friend's going down,
Hmm.
or something in to that.
Right. And we're definitely not saying that as a married, someone who's married or, um, in a serious relationship or engaged, you can't have friends, but there
Yeah.
is a realization there that people need to be aware of. We had
Yeah.
one of our aunts actually told us when we were younger that you're not always going to have your friends, but your spouse is the one that's going to be your best friend. And I thought that was going to be true, but I also thought I would have like a few friends on the side too, like just to hang
Yeah.
out with. And you definitely, it's different. You can't really explain it until you're in that season.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, you know, besides my sisters, I have one or two people that I communicate with daily, if it's
Mhm.
through text or call. And then like three or four other people I'm close with that I go for advice about the children or just situational
Yeah.
based. So I mean, and I actually do like I'll walk with one of my friends and things like that with our day to day lives. We hang out, but it's not something where, oh, I'm going away with my friends this whole weekend, or I'm going away
Do
with
you
yours.
think at
And oh,
Go ahead.
sorry, yeah.
Do you think at
Well,
all do you think at all that being a mom, that it's easy to make friends with other moms because you're stressing and like doing the grind the same, the same thing as them, and because it's just a you're connecting just because you have kids, is it, I guess my real question is can you connect well with multiple moms and be friends with them, or is it mostly like, hey, it's kind of we're moms, so we're kind of just friends, but there's
yeah.
nothing
Well,
emotionally deep about it?
yeah, that's a good question because I think I think a different perspective on a lot of people are like, oh, well, you're just friends with other moms. Why are we like that? And honestly,
Yeah.
if you think about it, I can relate to people or relate to other women or parents so much more because we're kind of living in a again a hard moment,
Yeah.
a hard season, a season that we're pouring into everyone else, and then we can just explain and be raw and real with each other. Like, oh,
Hmm.
I feel mom guilt a lot. Like, do you feel that? Or it's like you're safe because you're going through it. Just like people in the army, or not the army, just the military in general. They always have this connection and they can talk to each other about things because they've been through it. Like
Right.
I can say, oh, I have family that are in the military. I've went to a military base before. I've read books about it. It's not the same thing. So I feel like it's just like this unspoken relatability
Hmm.
that you in a safe spot. So I think that's why you kind of congregate together.
Yeah,
Um,
I will say though, like from being on the other side of that, of not being a mom and wanting to, hang out with girlfriends or,
yeah,
have a friend, that it's weird because I am older, I'm 31, and when I walk up to a group of girls, they identify themselves as moms, even if their kids aren't with them, even if their
yeah,
kids are a little older, and it can get really discouraging because it's
mhm,
like all they talk about is mom stuff. And I know that it's obviously their life, but there's a disconnect there. It's like, because we don't have that in common, what, what are we going to talk about? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, it's quite scary to go up to a group of moms and say hi for me, because I know that all they're going to want to talk about is their kids. And that's great and amazing because, of course, I love children, but it's also like, okay, well, I know
yeah,
this relationship will not go very deep because they're
yeah,
a parent, and I don't have the same restrictions or schedule as my sisters. I can just do what I want when I want, and they can't. So I think there's that disconnect, especially between moms and not parents.
yeah. And another thing too, I feel like it's important to say is, and in the way that you were feeling
Hmm.
that disconnect, it's almost like too, if you're the friend, and again, this is not every friendship, this is not everybody, and I want to let
Right.
everyone know that's listening or watching or both, um, that no way is wrong. We're not saying that. We're just
Right.
saying kind of from our perspective, what has worked, what hasn't worked, what we see, what we've witnessed before.
Yeah.
Again, you can, be completely different than what we're saying does not make it that you are wrong.
Right.
But I will say, I think a lot of women, if they were in your situation, Julie, if you're in a group of moms and married women, and you are the one that does not have a child, but you're married, uh, you will feel, not intentionally, but you will feel like the moms are being selfish at times because family comes first, not just your spouse, but then your kids, and they get sick, and then you've got to do this, you got to do that. So there is a lot of disconnect because we can't give you what we
Yeah.
want to give you as a friend because we're giving everything we have to other
Right.
humans. And I think that's another thing that connects us moms or us parents is,
Hmm.
hey, you're going to understand, like, I'm going to give you like zombie me today
Yeah.
because I haven't slept. I am running ragged. If I complain and I'm negative about something, no, I'm in a rough season. Or if I'm
Right.
positive and excited about little Johnny going on the potty, you're going to be just excited for me. So
Right.
I think there's that. And not that, you know, you would feel that people are trying to be selfish towards you. But it's just a natural thing. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's okay for people to realize. And um,
I think vice versa too, though. I think it's okay, but I think it's not necessarily the selfishness. It's more, um, how do I say it?
priority wise, like,
No, it's more like if you're in a group of, especially women, we're women, so we're going to talk about groups of women.
yeah.
When you're in a group of women and they have kids and you don't, it's isolating because it's like they don't know who they are
Hmm.
without being a mom. And
Yeah.
I totally get that because especially when you have little ones, that is your life, that is your air, your breath, that's everything because that's what you're doing. But that's where the isolation comes from because it's like, okay, I get it, but who are you? I want to invest in you as a
Hmm.
friend and love on you as a friend, not your whole family and kids. Not
Yeah.
saying that you shouldn't do that sometimes, but I think that's kind of where, for me at least, the disconnect comes from because I don't care that they talk about their children, but sometimes it's like I feel sad because they don't know who they are, like what their likes and dislikes as just a human person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. And I think, again, that will come in time because there are some women way better than I am about um still being their own person,
Hmm.
uh while taking care of their children, and they can balance all that. I'm not very good at doing that, but again, I've got
I think you're good at
little,
that.
I mean, I'm getting better at it, but I mean, like, I don't do a lot naturally for myself.
Oh
um
yeah. Hmm.
I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying I envy people that
But you
do
still have
that
little
more.
ones like that one.
Yeah, but I have three under the age of 9. Doesn't
Yeah.
When I say that, doesn't sound like really that much, but it is. And I've got a lot more sick. My kids are sick more than
Hmm.
the normal child. So my situation's a little bit different. And
Hmm.
when they all get a little bit older, it's gonna be a different time for me. I'll be like, oh yeah, you want to go on a Thursday night to go grab some drinks and a appetizer while we talk about our week? Great, I can do that.
Yeah.
That will be easier. And
Yeah.
I think everyone has to give themselves grace, and friendships are just not going to look like or feel, let's just say feel, like what they did when you were growing up. And
Yeah.
even
Or
if
even
you're
in your
still,
20s.
yeah, and even if you're still best friends with your best friend from school, it's just not going to look the same.
Mm.
You're not going to be each other's number one priority. It's just not going to like that. You can love on each other's kids, and I think that's awesome. I love to
Mhm.
see, um, you know, people get together. But a lot of friendships too, um, are couple. Like when you become a couple and you have
Yeah.
kids, you kind of surround yourself with couples, and I think that so healthy. So
Hmm.
great. But you also have to have boundaries. You cannot be so close
Yeah.
and open with other couples because that can be very dangerous, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And I think too, like, as far as just adult friendships in general, not just being a parent or anything, I think that it looks different mostly because everyone's walking through a different story of their different chapter
Mhm.
of their story. And especially when you do get married, a lot of your time does go to your teammate and your
Yeah.
partner and trying to figure life out and get closer to them because that's your priority over a friend. And so sometimes if you get lucky and you have a best friend that is your partner, it's not so lonely. I mean, that's my case. I don't have really any super close friends outside of my sisters.
Yeah.
I have a few cousins and a few friends that from work that I really enjoy speaking with, but no one that I run to say, "Hey, this is what I'm walking through," or just calling every day. I mean, I call Jamie 7 times a day. So
I'll call you
thankfully,
10. Don't
yeah,
worry.
yeah, thankfully, I'm blessed to be able to stay at home full time, and she is too, so we're able to talk a lot more. But yeah, I'm lucky that I have that. But I also see, even as Alex and I are in a new season of life of living in a different state than normal. Um, it's hard to even find couples that are friends because as an adult, it's like I'd rather just chill at home. You're already like
Uh,
normal. You feel comfortable with your best friend or your partner, and then it's like, what are we supposed to do? Go out and say hi to people at the restaurant? Like,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, in your situation, honestly, I wouldn't really know besides first thing I think of is going to a church and getting into a small group. And
yeah.
that's where we've hung out with um, a lot more couples and adult friendships is
Hmm.
doing that. We aren't uh, people that really go out, to bars or I mean, or to clubs. A lot of adults do that. Um, we just don't. And maybe people find other friends that way. I just know like healthy relationships for us have been found in our small group and
Hmm.
church. Um,
Well, and researchers say, actually, I read this earlier, that researchers say that in the US, it takes 50 hours of time with an acquaintance to actually have that connection as a friend, as if you're an adult, not kids, but as an adult. So 50
wow.
hours, of,
That's,
of time
like,
with someone.
and that's a lot when everyone in America feels
Yeah.
strained
And you
time.
just,
And I love though, like just investing in people's lives. Like
yeah.
I was talking to someone earlier today. Like, oh, I really invested in this relationship or this whatever, and just like with a show, like I invest in it.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to see stuff like that. I just think it's so neat though how our parents didn't have any of that.
Hmm.
Like you didn't know what people were doing. You didn't see people's kids until like everything was grown up. It's kind of not. It's kind of nice. It's kind of cool to get front row seats to stuff like that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Too. And it's like, okay, well, I think everyone vibes differently with what's a friend to them. Because
Yeah,
a friend to me is more like my husband. He's my best friend. He's the one I talk with and go through life with. So I don't really need anyone else to do that kind of thing with. So then I get selective with actual friends, and it goes from there.
yeah, and I think again, talking about how you would make friends as an adult, I think you just have to come to the conclusion too, for one, that it's not going to look the same
Hmm.
as it did growing up, or
Grieve
even
it,
in
let it go.
yeah, grieve it. And it is, it's something that you really truly grieve. So
Hmm.
grieve that. Know that it's okay if you don't have a big group of friends. Know that it is okay if you have a big group of friends.
Hmm.
That's great too. If you're wanting that and you're longing for that and needing that, and if you're a mom, reach out to a mom group.
Hmm.
Reach out to somebody that you maybe knew in high school, that's something safe
Hmm.
where you're able to say, hey, I know this might be weird, but do you
Mhm.
want to grab lunch? Do you want to grab dinner? Do you
Yep.
want to?
Or even
Yeah,
talk over this. Like if you commented below
yes.
on one of the Facebook things, you could literally just say, "Hey, can I like have 5 minutes of your time a week?" And
Yeah. Or even ask, let's go on a walk.
yeah, yeah. If
Bring
you're
your,
like physically near them, yeah.
yeah, if you're physically near them. And one app that's really good, and I don't know if we've mentioned this before, but it is called Marco Polo. I
Yeah.
know Julie, me, you, and Jesse use that. I have one of our really good friends, Tabor. I love her with my heart. Um, we Marco Polo. Oh, I'm sorry.
Jamie's tired. She also is holding a
Whew.
baby, if you can't tell at this point in the video.
Jamie's always holding a baby. Um,
Yeah, always.
me, me and Tabor Marco Polo twice a day to each other, if not once a day. But it is awesome because it's just like FaceTiming,
Hmm.
but not in live mode. So I'm able to talk with her if I'm in the car with the kids and I want to talk with her and tell her about something that we've got planned or going on. Then I'm able to do that. Or if you want to show someone an activity, you're able to do it. It's
Hmm.
really neat app. It's awesome. Um, but it's like video conversations. It's
Yeah,
like what a text be like if you
the
video
text.
text. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm a little bit closer to her because we do
Hmm.
that. To be able to kind of come to a close with this,
Hmm.
feel free to reach out, you know, on our Facebook page, on our
We want to be your
Instagram, all that.
friends.
Yeah. If you need a friend, you need a friend to talk to, or you have questions, or, you just feel kind of lonely and, you just need that sister friend to help you through it. We are
Yeah.
both here.
Yep.
We're both busy, but we know, how lonely it can be and how making friends is more difficult as an adult. But it can look different, but it can still be just as fulfilling. So,
Right.
um,
And make this a community. So if you see someone in the comments or that liked one of our posts or that follow the page, reach out to them. Just say, "Hey, I see that you're a part of the sister friend community and just wanted to reach out and say, hey, that can't hurt to say hi and
yeah,
to develop a relationship like that." I think that's really, really sweet.
yeah, it's awesome.
Hmm.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate it. We love you
Yes.
guys. Um, and just remember to follow us.
Yep.
There's a little hand. uh,
Yes, yes. Follow us. Watch out for some content. We're still very new at this. I keep saying that, but it's crazy just because Jamie's a busy mama, and her schedule is completely different than mine. And honestly, I think Jamie can agree. We do this because we're excited to spend time with each other, but also
yeah,
sometimes we have really great things to say, we think. So, um,
yeah.
yeah, just stick
This
with
is
us.
this is very therapeutic for us.
Hmm. Yeah.
And we talk like this all the time, like Julie said earlier, 7 times a day, and we'll get on these really deep conversations, and I'm like,
Yeah.
do other people talk like this? I'm not for sure, but we should just like hit record, and if
Yeah.
someone likes it, great. If someone doesn't, that's
Who
okay too.
cares?
Yeah,
I'm just thinking about this. What if we did this? Maybe it's a future thing, but what if we, sister friends, and you can maybe chime in? Would it be fun to do a kind of a Zoom meeting? And if you wanted to join our Zoom meeting, you would just
oh
let
my
us know on
gosh,
our
that would be,
page. And we just kind of talk and say, "Hey, girls, what's up? Hang out, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour." And
that would be so
yeah,
much fun.
like sister talk with coffee or whatever. And whoever shows up, they show up. If it's nobody, it'll be just like this. I think it'd be really
Right, so
fun.
that sounds, Julie, we should do that. That
Yeah.
that sounds so much fun.
Yeah, it does. It sounds really, because honestly, like some of the people that may jump on want to be encouraged, and we would love to encourage someone, but also maybe it's just somebody that we don't necessarily know in our circle and we
Yeah.
get to have a new friend. So let
Yeah,
us know
guys,
if you'd
and
like for us
then
to do
we
that.
can show you how to make friends and we can be friends.
We can all be awkward together. It's fine.